We're starting a little late, but hello everybody and welcome to Learn Dota 2 League Season 20 Quarterfinals. Had some audio driver issues there, so we missed the first few bands, and we're also missing Randy. With me here today is Nobody, taking a look at Knights Who Say GG, the heroine team, taking on Dungeons and Dagons, the Ransoms team, which won the vote for this by a pretty long margin. I'm going to be temporarily rather quiet.
Seconds remaining.
As I start the prediction.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Leaf says Tets. Banning out the pockets moved up to the respect bans category for average peen at this point. Interestingly, no Zeus ban. They are willing to let that one go through. I guess the hero is not a super great mid right now, so. Picking up the Dark Willow for Leaf. Just right off the bat here.
Dire team ban.
And the Dazzle for Whimsical Dragon comes out right in response. I believe
10 seconds remaining.
It is post and link time.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
There we go. Undying ban. A little interesting. Not 100% sure who that one's targeted at. I guess they're thinking they might try to do the flex again.
10 seconds
but if I'm honest, I don't think that really worked out very well last time the Ransoms team did that. I don't know if it's that much. If it's worth sweating when you only get so few bans to start out with, right? Meanwhile, on the other hand, they're just going all in. Round 1 was all in on supports for Ransoms, and here round 2 is going to be some cores. Looking at the Ursa for Law, looking at the Ember Spirit
10 seconds
for, presumably that's I Drink Your Milkshake who's standing in for Blue Jay today.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Axe.
Apologies if I'm a little quiet at the moment as I have to keep my eye on several things right now, but...
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Witch Doctor.
Okay. Dazzle Axe, which is funny, that, you know, normally be a counter pick to the Dazzle. They're just picking it up here to stop the Dungeons and Dagons team from having it. Witch Doctor, a little unfortunate. I feel like that hero is pretty poor into Dazzle in general. The Shallow Grave really screws with what Witch Doctor wants to do to you, both in terms of both of his skills, really, I think. And the ult. You don't have a way to insta-stop the Witch Doctor ult for a while, but once you do, it's like a really, really difficult way. A difficult thing for the Witch Doctor to deal with. And of course you have the Axe who's able to just call that and stop that immediately, though he probably doesn't want to be doing that if he can get away with not doing so. Predictions should be running right now for anybody who's with us. If you see that big blue bar, or big purple bar at the top of your screen, that's your predictions. You can throw some channel points on this game if you want. Centaur Warrunner, gonna be picked up here. It's a bit interesting.
10 seconds remaining.
It feels like the Dire
5 seconds
have a
remaining.
very specific game plan in mind. That Ursa ban in particular, that might have been just to secure the lane that the Centaur was going to be in, right? Because that's a really nasty matchup for him. Not somebody you want to see. But it does feel like they've got some kind of plan going on here, where they really don't want somebody to be bursted down in either a magic or phys damage capacity.
Radiant team pick.
Lifestealer coming up. Lifestealer used to be an awesome counter to pick the Centaur Warrunner, and in the long scheme of things in the game, he's still not bad. Doesn't lane nearly as well against the guy anymore. In fact, it's almost kind of bad for Lifestealer, the actual lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Because your lifesteal levels up so slowly, for the first 6 levels, it's actually, like, bad for you to hit him. Like, you'll take, if he's leveling Return at all, you'll actually take more damage right-clicking the Centaur than you'll heal back, for the most part. Or at the very least, it'll be, like, neutral. So you won't get anything extra done against him like you would in the past. And the percentile is, like, very low as well. To the point where if he just builds some armor, it's not very effective. Oh, if Homeboy starts with the chainmail, not very effective.
Dire team pick.
VS coming out here. One of the heroes of this batch. Interesting combo, the Lifestealer. Allows for some funny Infest Bomb possibilities. Don't know exactly where she's going yet, so I can't
10
call it.
seconds
Most
remaining.
likely some kind of support role.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, we may get Randy in game 2. How about that?
Dire team back.
Drow Ranger.
Yes, that would explain some of those bans, I suppose. Almost an awesome Drow game. It's gonna have a good lane. Oh, Blue JVIP says, I have a $2,000 butt on
remaining.
Heroine team on DraftKings. How about get a $2,000
5 seconds
computer
remaining.
so you can play in this game, huh?
Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban.
You've got the bet on DraftKings, but you don't have the bet on my channel, which is awesome. I hope nobody makes a prediction. That would be really funny. I don't really hope that. It would be funnier if you predicted something.
Dire team ban.
I don't even know if that prediction's still going to be open by the time you hear that. Hopefully it is. Knights who say GG, take an aim at mid here. Not a surprise. I would be shocked if it was
10
anybody else.
seconds
Again, letting
remaining.
the Zeus through, interestingly. They're not thinking about banning
5
that out.
seconds remaining.
It's almost an awesome Drow game. That VS and Axe combo. Oh, it makes me sweat. It makes me feel horrible things. Like, the idea of being swapped off of your shard thing later on in the game is, like, dreadful. And you do have the Centaur to be able to turn it around, but if you get swapped into the Axe, then you'll be running nowhere quick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Good news, I suppose, is outside of the Axe Call and the VS stun, the latter of which, not the biggest stun in the entire universe. It's not much CC on the Radiant, not compared to the Dire. We're gonna need to get... I don't even know if Dazzle still has that stupid thing where he hexes people. I'm pretty sure he does. I could be an idiot. Compared to on the other side of the coin, on Dungeons & Dagons, everybody is stunning people down there. Literally everyone except Drow has some kind of CC, even if it's just like a root or something.
Radiant team pick. Queen of Pain.
Clop coming out here. Something Sheik, who
10
is
seconds remaining.
famous for his non-knowledge of Dota, is in chat.
5
I asked him to
seconds
make a
remaining.
prediction just so there's something to pay off. Oh, Somebody really bad just got picked, I guess. Or maybe nothing happened. I hope BZ almost died there, though. It's $5,010 on Heroine Team. Nice. The Quap, I think, in that context, I think that's a pretty good pick. They don't really have much CC. The CC is the easiest thing to deal with, the Quap, right? You stun her, you deal with her there. But, Lycan,
Now
okay.
select your heroes.
Mid Lycan? For I drink your milkshake? Or what? What's going on here?
5 seconds remaining.
I don't get to see who's picking what. I'm not allowed to know. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it is presumably going to be mid Lycan, going to be pause 5 ES. Looks like a pretty good Quap game. Average Peen, if he does well here, he could run away with it. They only have 2 ways to actually stun the guy. One of them is pretty unreliable when it comes to Quap. Quap can definitely blink out of the Axe Skull before Axe is able to actually do that. Predictions ended before the draft. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really set, like, you can't really set the predictions to, like, go to a specific time, or, like, until you turn them off. You have to do, like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. Well, what are you gonna do? Looks like a very good Quap game. The Drow Ranger game is terrifying. I really, like, the picks that were there already didn't make it look like a good Drow game. This makes it look like a horrific Drow game. Dungeons and Dagons are going to have their hands full trying to give poor Power who's standing in. Trying to give poor Power some, like, way to do something here. Because as it stands, this is like, ugh. You've got the Lycan who's able to run into your face. You've got bombs with the Lifestealer. You've got, I mean, at the very least, if the Lifestealer doesn't bomb, it's pretty bad there. You've got the VS swap, and that's a really big one. That's like a big chain that's going to be, like, big anchor around Drow's neck the whole game. She's going to have to build a Lincoln. There's just, like, there's not really 2 options there. She needs a Lincoln. She can't go without the Lincolns this game. Quap can probably get away with BKB if she's good at hitting that blink really quick. Drow, no such luck. Gotta get that Lincolns, because every time she gets swapped, she's gonna die. Or at the very least, somebody else on that lineup needs to get Lincolns and keep putting it on her in fights. It's also an option. Alternatively, VS could just not swap her every fight, which, you know, that would also have impact, but
30
either way.
seconds to battle.
I think it's this very scary Drow game, and that's the biggest question mark on this for the Ransoms lineup. Because I like most of what they got otherwise pretty well. It's a very good looking Quap game. It's a pretty good looking Centaur Warrunner game, right? Not that much to don't even Plague Overwatch. True. Not much to actually deal with this guy. He's got pretty good capability to deal with damage. The Lifestealer is going to make him a big HP balloon, but that means a lot less today than it did in yesteryear. Right? The Lycan is going to spend a lot of this game basically bouncing off of him. I like the core duo, I like the Witch Doctor outside of the specific matchup against the Dazzle. I like the Dark Willow in this game quite a bit. But that Drow, man, that Drow is scary. Must be picking this thing in high-level games, this Lycan. He's just suddenly come back out of nowhere. Either way, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the cast, the roll call for the Knights who say GG. Pause 1, you've got on the Lifestealer. Pause 2, you've got I Drink Your Milkshake standing in once again for Blue Jay, who is still not able to actually make a game on the Lycan. Pause 3, you've got Captain of the Team Heroine on the Axe. Pause 4, you've got Golden Dragon. Pause 4, you got Wolfortkins on the Vengeful Spirit. Usually the pause 5, they're switching it up today, I guess. Well, they switch it up often, if I'm being honest. And pause 5, you got Whimsical Dragon, who's dead for first blood to Leaf.
Just like Lorland should
Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, for Dungeons and Dagons, pause 1 standing in for Luth, you've got Power. On the Drow, pause 2, you've got Average Peen. On the Quap, pause 3, Ransoms, captain of the team. 2 pause 3 captains facing each other today. On the Centaur, pause 4, you've got Leaf playing the Dark Willow. And pause 5, you've got Golden Dragon on the Witch Doctor. Thus far, last hit's mostly favoring the Radiant Drow. Even though this is a pretty favorable matchup, lane matchup for her, not really getting that many last hits thus far. I assume, though, this will probably change in the future to be more favorable to her. On the other side, though, this Lifestealer is just hitting every creep he wants. Again, as this lane goes on, like, the matchup against Centaur is not as good as it used to be, and the matchup against Dark Willow is kind of bad, because she's able to harass you pretty effectively even when you've got your rage going on, so... I assume with some more levels this might change. The Dazzle might be able to put a stop to that. It's going to come down to execution, but I think I would favor this lane. It's probably going to tilt to Dire rather than Whimsical 1v2. You never know, though. Lycan has just stopped last hitting and is just in Quap's face hitting her over and over. Quap is farming his wolves. Uh-oh. Something made my game almost crash there. I was just farming his wolves. Lifestealer. Just the most casual lane of his entire life. Yeah, we did start with a Ring of Protection. Who's that? Honestly, if I were Ransoms, so I'm not really building anything off of that Ring of Protection. I would have waited till after the Bounty Rune split, and just started off with the chainmail. If I'm going to be building blade mail, in fact, building it twice anyway, you might as well get that there. Ransom's a little too far forward, but you know they're not really going to get that much harass off on them. Mostly just chase him away from the lane here for a second, and Leave having to come over here and direct traffic though did kind of mess things up for him. Kill on with Fortkins, so there's that. First bit of good news. I mean, I suppose they did get first blood on the Dazzle, but first bit of good news for this team in a minute. Axe hitting the small camp. Yeah, just really not allowed to do this. We're gonna look at it go here. It's gonna fall. The Maledict's gonna come out. Unfortunately, that Maledict's super late. That Maledict happened before that nonsense started, then he would be dead right now, but what are you gonna do? Mid is very nothing happening lane. Both these guys are using their entire HP bars to not actually like hurt the other guy, which is kind of funny. Just casually right-clicking creeps, nothing stopping them. Notably, even though you had that kill Axe just got, the lane is starting to turn against him to a decent degree. The last hits are favoring Drow, and as we just saw earlier, we know some of Axe's last hits are on the small camp, which is less valuable than the lane creep, so. How do you predict? Time for that is over, unfortunately. You had to do that during pick phase, and you were not here yet. Ransom's alone down here. They see this is good play. They see that Leaf has gone to mid. They immediately go on him here. Knock him out! Very good job. That Dazzle Q. I suppose thinking about it in the capacity of the Dazzle has a pretty good chance of making this lane go much worse for the Centaur than the Lifestealer himself would. Axe gets to scream right before his untimely death. We missed a kill while that was happening. Drow got the kill on the VS again. This is definitely starting to go wrong for the Axe here. They're pulling the Lycan. At least they're pulling the Lycan Wolves this line. Just to run at Drow here. Oh, look at this. This is some cool bait. They set it up to make it look like Golden Dragon was just here all alone, but it was actually both Dragon and Average Peen. But the Radiant brings in so many guys for this. They actually bring in the Dazzle as well, that they still actually get the Wisdom. Still, Ransoms get some time alone down here as Dazzle TP'd in for that. It's not going to be able to get back to bot anytime soon. Leaf immediately starts dropping skills on the guy. I mentioned this this lane was bad for the Dazzle mostly, so him being gone is a pretty big boon here. Ransom should definitely want to be playing a little aggressive, want to be playing on those waves. Bringing somebody else in up here, okay. Bringing in the Golden Dragon. I want to get a kill here. Hard guy to get. Yeah, he's just gonna hit Q, my friends, and Dazzle swing gated in, so. Can I predict for game 2? Oh yeah, it's gonna reopen again next pick phase. So. Ooh, Average Peen getting chased around by the VS here at mid. Found a DD there. Hey, you don't know that Sammy Carey. I don't even know you. Probably. I mean, maybe I do. You just, you know, not this username, but hey. We got Dazzle being screwed up back here by the support line. He's gonna hit the safe word. Lycio's actually gonna get inside of him. Gets out at kind of an awkward time. This would have been a okay go, but they didn't have Ransoms there for it, so this is awkward. Whoa! The scream of pain. Great timing on the scream of pain from the Quap. The Lifestealer Q is not actually ready for that yet. Power says Smex. Average Peen steals last hits from this poor, emaciated Centaur Warrunner. We're going back. If we take a look at the net worth chart here, it's no surprises. It's pretty much same story, all three lanes. Everybody's pretty close. So Drow's doing a little better than the Lifestealer. Axe is doing a little better, just a little, like 2 or 3 creeps better than the Centaur. Mostly, just pretty much what you would predict coming out of the lane. There's 2 bounties down there. Super weird. Whimsical Dragon's going to get those. Yep.
Dazzle.
Lycan gets himself a regen. The Quap probably would have liked that a little more, but what are you going to do? They were positioning there like that was going to be a scary swap play, but the VS is level 4. It's kind of funny. Going on instinct, I suppose. Lifestealer back in here. Just whacking this little crappy camp. Average Peen really wants to be careful here. It's 2v1, you've got a Centaur too. Sammy was your sub. Really? Shoutouts to Sammy, I suppose. Yeah, you were previously subbed for 1 month. Shoutouts to you. Probably got it from the gift subs maybe, but Shoutouts to you nonetheless. They're really trying to drop. This is a wrong guy to try and get here. They're just trying to bait out the ult. They might not even get that. No, they are gonna get it. He's gonna say better safe than sorry. Going to use the ult to pull out here. Drow Witch Doctor going to say, well, with that happening, nobody's gonna come try to save the axe. VS is going to try to save the axe, though. Man, she's gonna lose so much HP so quick.
Is under attack.
Yep, she is gone. The Dark Willow shows up for this, but so does the Lycan, and this is a little
Radiant's middle
hairy.
tower is under attack.
Not just because it's Lycan,
Dire's
mind
bottom
you.
tower is under attack. Dire's
Everyone's sticking around
structures are
very low
fortified.
HP. The Centaur's still at mid. Watch Quap get an illusion.
Radiant's middle tower
They
is
definitely
under
know
attack.
Quap's coming now. They're gonna have to be thoughtful about that. Leaf is going to really screw up Lycan here. Almost gets a solo kill. Quap going for it. Quap getting it. But now she's in real deep. Really, really deep. 5 seconds to bling it. She's super dead. Awkward. And body blocking power at the Centaur, very nice. Power likely to fall as well. That was a horrible idea, unfortunately, for Power trying to do that desperation TP. Not only is he dead, he's not going to be able to TP out anywhere after he respawns, which means he's going to be probably walking up here to GG jungle, if I'm guessing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Very, very sad. These guys don't have that many stuns, but they have more than that.
Dire are scanning.
Gonna die anyway, so. Not very nice.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
La is just running at people here. This is like the. Oh, crazy. I don't know, nothing more is gonna happen than that. Oh,
Welcome to the club, Sammy_Carry.
shoutouts to Sammy Carey for the follow. Shoutouts to Wilfortkins for getting torn up in the jungle here. Going to use the Centaur ult to try and get this Witch Doctor out of trouble, but it's just too many guys are down here. I'm glad you still get that emote even though you're not actually subbed anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Dazzle, the Life Stealer, beaten down bot T1 here.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
The net worth disparity isn't huge, but it's feeling a little bad for the Dire. The only upside they really got going on for them here is that the Lycan's not doing so great. Lycan's pretty poor. Really just got, oh, he's here in the Ancient Cave, he tries to TP out, he gets fear bombed by the Willow. They got a lot of Dire guys here closing in on him. A lot of people were running away thinking this was over, but not quite. This is not going to help his case, especially if he gets screamed at during the Maledict. Another kill for Average Bane.
That make a big mess.
At make a big mess, as they say. Pointing out the Drow here, they got the swap ready for her, but Watkins is just in the wrong spot to do anything with it. Not like it matters if the Drow is just going to walk right in Axe's face and just get annihilated. 5 ads played. I apologize for that. Like I said before, I am in a financial situation. It's actually a little worse, to be honest, since the start of the season. I'm in a financial situation where my options for this season were set up subscriptions and run ads, or Average Bane gonna get nuked here. Subscriptions and run ads, or like don't do the season. I would have needed to take up a second job, and I would not have had the time. So apologies for that. If you subscribe, which is only $5, or it's free if you have a Prime account and you haven't done this already, you can just drop a sub, and if you're a subscriber, you literally never see an ad again until the subscription is over. You do not see another ad until your subscription elapses, so if you are subscribed and no more ads for you, I actually lose a decent amount of money on that, but I did specifically hit that setting, so you know, if you pay, you're not gonna get that. But yeah, I apologize for that. I really could not help it. I really, you know, I don't need like an entire salary of extra money, but I do need like, you know, the Twitch payout on a monthly basis, if I'm honest.
Dire are
Which
scanning.
makes, yeah. Either way. Back to the game here. Erwin had a rough go of it. This is pretty typical for this Axe and Drow matchup. Erwin had a pretty rough go of it in lane, but coming out of lane, he's doing awesome now. He's got Blink Blade Mail. The Drow is like living in fear of him at this point, basically. Uh-oh. Oh man, they did see her. This is so bad. They have the Centaur ult. The Fear Bomb comes out before they can swap Drow into more danger here. La running to try and jump into Axe. Axe kind of griefed him there. That was awkward. They're still looking at power. Which is the right call, I think. Gonna be happy with Average Pain? No, they're not. They're gonna be happy with nobody at all. Average Pain's just gonna kill them.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
La's gonna beat her retreat. Lycan's gonna harass from the back. Not really get anything done there. 2 for 1. Awkward trade for the Dire. Really did not want that to happen. Feels like a little bit of bad communication there. Like, La was clearly trying to save the Axe, and Axe was clearly not trying to let that happen to him. Felt like he jumped into Watkins trying to get on the Drow, and Watkins was not going there, went for Average Bean instead. Just a little clumsy, the execution on that. A little bad. Are still here, by the way. She just won't leave this little spot on the map, I guess. Found Leaf and Ransoms. They found the Centaur and the Willow. They're going for the Centaur. May, well, I was going to say may get him. Average Peen has ran into Interdict here. Ransoms, okay, is going to go down. Kind of unfortunate. Lifestealer's position in a place they were not expecting. Huge 3-man call on the Axe, but no follow-up. Nobody is paying attention to that. Everyone's going to try and turn the power out. And another awkward fight. You know, you bowl a 7-10 split, go right down the middle on the Heroine team. Oh.
Special thanks to Sammy_Carry for the 2-month Prime sub.
Super duper ultra shoutouts to you. Again, never see an ad again if you do that. Big thanks from me towards Sammy Carey. Either way, awkwardly conducted fight on the part of Heroine lineup. They really they kind of goofed that one, I think. You get the Centaur at least. They didn't lose that much for it, so it could have gone a lot worse. And now they're just going to run over the Willow. Might lose a Dazzle for it. You don't care that much. Well, might lose the VS for that, actually. And again, not too unhappy about this. That's a great ult. It's a great ult by the Witch Doctor. They realized they were out of stuns there. They had already used all their stuns in that particular moment and just knocked them out there. Feels like we're seeing a little bit of that. Maybe it's just because we're getting yet another stand-in on the mid player here. Feels like we're seeing a little bit of that early era Heroine team coming out here this game. Maybe that's the pressure, I don't know. 2K gold swing there. But it definitely feels like these fights, it doesn't feel like anybody is solid who they're going for. It feels like you've got a few guys going for the Quab, you got a few guys going for the Drow, you've got the Lycan who is like very clearly out of step here. It's interesting to me, they've had a very reliable replacement for Blue Jay, could not get him this week, which is kind of unfortunate. Lycan tries to get the XP. It's a brave play. Tries to run away. They have him stunned for ages. Again, that would have been an awesome Maledict if it was a little earlier, but it's still going to get the job done. Split kill, so not very effective, but still spread 756 gold. It's nearly 1,000 gold swing, just killing that guy in his own. Very big risk there. Very big risk. Ransoms team did a good job putting the thumb down on it. Drow's going for the Ags instantly, not waiting around at all. I like to see that here, actually. I think it's such a good Ags game for the Drow. Between the Lifestealer, between the Centaur, or the Axe, even the Lycan to a degree, right? I mean, he's definitely wanting to go in on Lifesteal later on, even if this doesn't do that anymore, I don't think.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It
attack.
definitely doesn't, but you know he's going to be going for, like, region-type items later. Pretty solid. That's a good turnaround there. They just use Axe as a bomb to just pick off poor Leaf.
Radiant are
Oh, Axe is out. Now the Radiance on the Lifestealer at this point. Radiance and Yash, this guy's actually doing really good. I haven't been watching his items much. I don't really know when he got these, but it's 22 minutes. And he has these two items already. Actually has the S and Y already at this point, so Lifestealer is doing awesome. Notably, he's been getting away from most of these fights. He has one death, and that was, I believe, earlier on. So, Radiant looking on the back lines here, trying to find anybody, but not finding them. The Drow's kind of nearby, but the Radiant knows what's up now. See if it's going to take it. Okay, Power almost kills himself on the Axe Call. Dazzle's stunned out here. We got the Hex on the Drow, but the Centaur Warrunner ult is gonna make things alright.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They're doing a good job keeping the Drow alive, for the most part, on Dire, I think. They're putting... You know, this is a super tough Drow game. Somebody, in chat earlier, by the name of Sammy Carey, made the remark that it looked like a tough Drow game. Well, that has not gotten any less true over time. But the Dire doing a very good job just standing in her way. Centaur Warrunner picking up the Crimson Guard here. Do I like that? Mostly. It's going to get rid of a lot of the damage that the Wolves do, which is going to be kind of threatening to her. It's going to deal with a lot of the damage this guy does. After all, you know, he's not shape-shifted all the time. When he's shape-shifted, it's just going to melt right through that Crimson Guard, unfortunately. But when he's not shape-shifted, it'll take a lot of the edge off. It's not 24/7. Going to help deal with some of the, like, armor break type situation that Dazzle puts you in, so I do like it here. They are putting the spear point, pointing it firmly towards Lycan here. Plop is in really deep. Really is going to regret that blink, I think. No! Arrow in. That was a very bad call attempt, but it's not really going to matter. They found the Witch Doctor here. I'm gonna actually use the Lifestealer pop out to get him. Another double. They didn't get the Drow, they don't care. A 3-for-0 trade. That's a 2.5 grand, almost 3k gold swing for Radiant here. Average Peen definitely is gonna have to be careful of using that blink. I mean, it's a good co-op game. They don't have that much to actually, like, put her away, but she's still going to have to be very conscious about not letting herself get caught there without that blink, right? It's not up 24/7. He's got a lot of agency to operate, but this is a weird situation where you really kind of, like, either you want to blink in on the sidelines where they're not going to see you, or you want to, like, blink into fog, or you want to blink in, like, walk in. Which isn't ideal, but you can do it sometimes, especially if you're counter-initiating. Walk in rather than blink in, and then have that blink out, I think. Because it's a good co-op game, they don't have many stuns, but if... Okay. My man's smoke here. He seems to be worrying about it a little bit. Whoa, the co-op ult! Bye-bye Axe, just melts instantly. Witch Doctor ult gets interrupted by the swap. Dazzle with the Shallow Grave on him is carrying the Lifestealer inside, so he's a big target for them. Gonna pop out the Lifestealer. He is silenced. Maledict misses, but who cares? Drow finishes the job, gets the Aegis. Great play on the Ransoms team's part. They knew instantly. They have vision there, I think. Yep, Golden Dragon actually got that one out. Big game for him so far. They have vision there. That Roche pit saw him walk right in. By the way, you can smoke in a Roche, just so you know. You can hit smoke and like walk in there. Roche doesn't like scream at you or anything. Well, he does if you're doing him again, but he doesn't like tattle on you if you do that. But either way,
This is out of
very good play from Ransom's team. They really punished that one very effectively.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Just what the doctor ordered. Ransoms himself going a little nuts here, using the Yule to try and keep this axe away from the Drow Ranger. Oh man, another really good Witch Doctor stun is going to stop this Lycan assault from happening. Dire trying to pull out here. Swap is incoming. They do have that ready. Be very bad if it hits the Dazzle. Or not Dazzle, hits the Drow. Drow's about to lose her first life. That's pretty unfortunate.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
She's looking pretty likely to just die again. They still have the VS slot, but they need that. Rob's Scream is going to get everybody. It's going to do a load of damage, but the team is in no position to do anything about it. And Drow is, as forecast, is going to go down again. Lifestealer is going to scratch the Witch Doctor's back on the way out. Likely to pick up the Centaur on the way out. Yep. Well, that's not exactly how you want your Aegis fight to go. That's 3 for none, or 4 for none if you count the fact that Drow died twice. That 3k goal that we were talking about earlier just flung right back. It's a real unfortunate display there of sort of the draft deficit at work. I mean, that all started when the Axe was just able to go right down the lines and just eat the, just call the Drow. First things first. Everybody had to dedicate all their resources into bailing her out while retreating at the same time. And it's just not easy to do both those things. Especially when you're losing people on the out to do that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Axe queuing up the shard here. Has got herself a Hurricane Pike at the very least. Looking for Manta next. Lifestealer has Basher queued. Lycan is buying something with a Helm of Iron. Well,
Dire's bottom tower
maybe he
is
just
under
wants it for the
attack.
fashion, you know? It is in this season, I've heard. Centaur going for a Lotus Orb, not a bad idea. At the very least, we'll inert the slot temporarily. Not as reliably as a Lincoln's would, perhaps, but reliably enough. And if VS gets her shard, as she already has, it can make the reflect on that be pretty much as bad for the VS team as it is for you, if not worse sometimes. You know, sometimes you're going to get that situation where the stun gets 1 on your side, reflects gets VS +1, so it's always fun when that happens. Not necessarily guaranteed you're going to get that, but, you know, man can dream. VS lurking on the Ags here. Gonna have it somewhat soon. About 2 grand away. Oh no, baby, this ain't good. This is the definition of bad. They're gonna try and use the Centaur ult to get the Drow out, but like literally, by the time they call in, she's already gone. The Axe Shard, having done Axe Shard and Lifestealer pop out there, having done some nasty work to ensure things go wrong. It's a real shame. It's like everything is awesome except for the Drow. But the Drow is so bad that it makes the game so hard. You're just always having to be conscious of like having to deal with her. Got Nullifier on the Lycan. Thinking about going to Quap. They're gonna swap her. Swap's going to get nullified. Going to be screened out here. Doing a very good job punishing that little approach. Witch Doctor does things at Heroine, but unfortunately for this lineup, as listed earlier, the Dazzle versus Witch Doctor matchup is fantastically bad for Witch Doctor. Really inerts a lot of that hero's ability to play the game. Radiant's still on the retreat here. VS TPs actually makes it out. So all that, they take 2, get 2 buybacks out of them, and that's all that happens. But still, that's a pretty decent net worth swing. It's starting to feel horrific. I don't know why the game is running badly right now. It's starting to feel kind of horrific for the Dire here. It's starting to feel quite dire, you could say. Regen rune here. I'm trying to make something of a counterattack here. I'm gonna find Lycan in the jungle, perhaps. We're gonna walk right into him. The Witch Doctor's gonna get nullified, but the Dark Willow is going to stop anything more from happening, at least to him immediately. He's got a Blink Dagger, which is a little nuts, but I kinda like that. Drow going for the Manta. Willow going for her own blink, trying to be very, this is going to be a 5 blinks team, because we're going to have Quap, who has an inbuilt blink, and 4 heroes with blink daggers, at this rate. Assuming Drow gets one anyway. You never know, she might. Quap has herself blade mail Shivas. Shivas, I believe, is new. Has not seen that be used yet in a fight anyway. Going for the Ags next. 3-man fire team coming out here. The 3 and under club deploying here. Ags going for a heart next, for the record. Going to be the 2 and under club now. Everybody but the Lifestealer in on this. Dire almost perfectly scanned there, funnily enough. Smoke Pop's going up the hill here. Unfortunate, as the person they're walking at is Quap. Still charging towards her, but this is a pretty tough kill to get. And they're not going to get it. Making Watkins walk all the way around to get that Observer. BKB nearly out on the Lycan. BKB in production on the Quap.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ags up next for the Witch Doctor. Drow Manta style, I believe, is now complete. Well, it's... yeah, there we go. I'm gonna say on Courier. Drow Manta is now out. Decent amount of things to mana dodge / purge, so it's not too bad. Pretty good purchase here. Beyond just the stats I'm in. Centaur is gonna hit the funny button to try and get Drow out of town. I was actually gonna spin the entire Centaur ult stun, but the enemy team also is going to send the entire Centaur ult stun, so it doesn't mean much. Lycan, very sort of dangerous play there. Lycan is engaging and trying to dive T3s for the Drow there. Does not work out. The Dark Willow is killed, but the Radiant are otherwise repulsed from the towers here. Everyone is making just various calls, various pings at the moment. They've just found the Quap, but not with the call not landing. Not enough stuns to actually get rid of her. I mean, if these guys want something to do right now, they're gonna split. Yeah, I agree with. I believe that was Heroin himself. This is the guy you want to go for right now.
Dire are scanning.
Backfired on you before, but the game is starting to look a bit different now, so. Nobody's realized this tower is in an eye range on Ransoms' team. Maybe Centaur's about to. He's walking towards it with purpose. Yeah, there we go.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
T2 bot denied. I feel like you pretty rarely see a T2 get denied in LD2L, but here we are. pretty casual Roche attempt. It's a little unlikely, I feel like we're going to see them. Use open wounds on Roshan. Feels a little unlikely that we're going to see anything come out of this. Yeah, Dyer's just way too far back at this point. Aegis should probably go to Lycan because he's the one playing these fights like a crazy man. But it's going to go to Lifesteal anyway. Invisible Dragon going to pick up the banner. Lycan is going to protest his lack of Aegis by farming. That was a nice circlet. It's crazy to think that right now, this circlet is the 6th most valuable thing in his inventory. Top 6. Now that's the state Lycan's in. That circlet is in his top 6. He's coming back here now. Coming back to where the rest of his lineup is. Sort of fishing for getting something done here. Quap cutting lays down bot. Right thing to do. I believe that Zag's coming out on the VS. Ags seems to be in production for the Lifestealer as well. Yep. Just waiting on Slam and Strawberry and that'll be done. Oh no, baby. Drow got way too close to this nonsense. Lotus Lord is coming out on her, fucking a lot. Quap screams at this lineup. Oh man, the Lifestealer died instantly. They just force-staffed the wrong Drow. They force-staffed an illusion of her instead of the real one. Awkward. Members of the Dire like charge out of the base trying to look for the Lifestealer there. They do get his Aegis, but they lose 2 people in the process.
Are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
They know to a poor Watkins. They know to a degree that the Quap is a lot less scary than she could be. Just on the grounds of lacking the ult for a little while. 30 seconds before that's back up. Lifestealer Ags now complete. Ultimately, a bigger victory for the Radiant than it looked. One of those deaths is an Aegis pop. Not great, but one of those deaths is an Aegis pop, and that buyback again, as I always say, not counted in the gold change. So, Radiant starting to get pretty substantially ahead. Good defensive efforts by the Ransoms team, but only mere efforts. They just found a big stack of Ancients here in this camp, with an axe sitting right next to it, and that guy is pretty poor, so he is happy to see this. Yep, Ancients just go down. Quick order, Power's Courier is going to get KO'd here. He's going for a Yules, okay. He's got himself a heart. I mean, honestly, if Axe wants to purge, I think a Lotus Orb of his own might not be too bad. He's going to get rid of everything the Yules is going to get rid of, or sit out everything the Yules is going to sit out, except for the Maledict. Going to potentially be able to reflect the Witch Doctor's cask, which is a big reflect. Going to be able to reflect the Quap Daggers, which is a pretty small reflect, but going to be able to bounce back the Dark Willow, delay stun thing. Just nice, at least. Most importantly, makes you an unappealing target for those 4 skills, and it's not a bad thing to have. The only downside is, again, nothing for the Maledict. We already have BKB, so the Maledict shouldn't be that big of a deal, especially after you get a heart. Unless you are getting, like, creamed over there. Ag's coming out for the Centaur, which is interesting. That's a decent way to help out with this squishy drought problem. will basically mean that the rest of this game, Centaur is going to be playing like subserviently to Drow in fights, just making his entire fight just getting to her, putting her in the card instantly, but it's not the worst situation in the world to be in, just giving Drow some power play time in these fights without having to worry about anything happening to her is a pretty good deal. Gonna get breathed on. Yes, going for the Ghost Scepter here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Rob just takes out T1 here. Oh, nice. Probably wasn't the person they were really looking for. I imagine they were really hoping that was Quap, but still, they instantly find the Golden Dragon, they knock him out. Astoundingly, the BS is actually alive. Quap ult just hits the axe and the dazzle. BS is finally going to actually go down here. Watkins in pretty deep. Pretty big axe skull here, gets the Quap and the Centaur, but Lifestealer goes with the Centaur, so the Quap just barely gets rid of him. But man, this guy is tanky. It takes a year and a half to kill this Lifestealer at this point. Quap is gonna melt from the Battle Hunger of the Radiance. Centaur is back. Going to get rid of the axe. Lifestealer. He was inside of something here. I think he was inside Centaur. Lifestealer is going to try and punish some of these buybacks. Average Peen, very crazy for this this particular go. Oh, the swap in the Drow. The Lifestealer wasn't ready for it. He's ready for this, so he can. I was about to say he can go inside the Quap, seal the deal, but nope, no need. Lifestealer's godlike.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's pretty low, but he still has the ability to jump in somebody like this.
Dire's middle tower is
Quap is diebacked. Drow is on buyback. See that buyback status. Yeah, nobody on Dire has the ability to buy back anymore. They've all bought. And despite their litany of buybacks, they are still unable to actually repel from the base here anyway. Drow's gonna get swapped deep in. Again, Lud doesn't see it. He's going for like a creep wave right now, which is a little nuts. That was really bad. If he had just jumped in the Drow there, I think she's dead. Instead, they're gonna have to be happy with getting these two racks. We're actually getting megas. Huge axe call. The Yules kind of puts a damper on it, you could say.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top
I'm gonna glyph out for their last set of racks here. AC comes in on the Lifestealer just to put it away a little faster, and top rack's now gone. Dire now has megas, so not good if you're pro Dire. Dazzler got himself a Hex to boot, just to make it a little harder. Which is going to be up in whenever he damn well pleases. Commentators do not get to know that info anymore, I guess. Push Shock Drag comes out. The Centaur Eggs never happened for him. Well, assuming that the game ends relatively soon at any rate. Yes, here, looking for the swap on the Drow, is going to get it. But the Centaur ult is going to stop any momentum from coming out of that. Invisibility, as they say, is invincibility. Dire's lineup kind of playing defensively here, except for the Golden Dragon, who will be shown why all of his friends are playing so defensively. Leaf gets a little work done on the Lifestealer. Axe Call on the Quap doesn't get much damage though. Yeah, so it's not ready to follow on that. That or VS is just waiting for the Drow to pop out.
Is under attack.
Ransom's just getting destroyed here. Oh man, pretty bad looking for the Quap, and yep, Quap is dropped, and Drow's gonna follow. They're not gonna call the G. Okay, they are gonna call the Gs.
Radiant victory.
Knights who say GG, and there they, well, at least La is a knight who says GG. Taking away game one. I think, all things considered, for pretty obvious reasons. Well, not obvious reasons necessarily. But the Knights who say GG. Well, really, I mean, the real story of this is that Drow pick, which is pretty cursed. The rest of the team played pretty well around it. And, you know, credit to them. Did a pretty good job trying to stand in front of her, building items to make standing in front of her better. The Dark Willow in particular just did, you know, the Centaur Warner as well, just did everything they could to just keep those guys off the Drow Ranger, and that was the right call. It was the right way to go about it. But it's just such a bad Drow Ranger game. You cannot play Drow Ranger. I mean, it was already kind of a bad Drow Ranger game when she picked it. But it just turned, like, horrific as time went on. The VS, like, and the Axe, like, it's just too much. Everybody can just get in her face, which is just, like, the opposite of what you want in a Drow game. Everybody can not only get in her face, everybody can get in her face very easily. So, rough one. Rough go for the Drow Ranger. And as a result, rough go for the team, who tried to play 4 protect 1 and could not protect that one even. So, we'll see what happens next time.